On today's episode of the Weekly Monster Truck Podcast, join me as I discuss the latest in the monster truck industry. So strap yourselves in, mash that loud pedal, and get ready because it's time to jam! Hello and welcome back to the Weekly Monster Truck Podcast. Hi again, everyone. I'm Jackson, also known as Monster Jam Stone. You can follow my social media at Monster Jam Stone on Instagram and Monster Jam Stone on YouTube. Fortunately, today it's just me. There's no Ryan. There's no Zach. They've been very busy with work. We've been trying to roll out a definite schedule of recording these episodes and putting them out. Unfortunately, with all the stuff that's been happening in this past week, they weren't able to make the date that I set. But nonetheless, it's going to be epic because even without them here, talking about these things is going to be epic. And I think that's what you guys came to see. So sorry to the fans and sorry to Zach and Ryan who wanted to come on this episode, but nonetheless, I'm excited to talk about the podcast and some of the news. Also want to thank a few people, including Monster Jam OCD, and mainly him for letting me use these videos of these diecast trucks that I'm gonna put on screen for you YouTube watchers, so you'll actually be able to see, rather than just a static photo, you'll be able to see these trucks. So I'm gonna put them up on screen as I talk about them. But anyway, speaking of the diecast stuff, we're gonna jump straight into the bit of news. So first off, Bulldozer. Now, if you remember, or if you've been paying attention to the, what's it called? The Spin Master poster list of trucks for 2021. Bulldozer was a pleasant surprise. It has been hinted at, and finally it is coming out. And, Ryan was able to get it wasn't a prototype, but it was like an early, maybe prototype is the right word that I'm looking for. I'll put it up on screen. As you can see, the version that he's got as of right now, or the version that he originally had before he put the other body on, it had these white wall tires, which apparently is going to be a pack later on. I don't know anything about that, but nonetheless, Bulldozer looks absolutely fantastic. The level of detail in the hair, like the hair on the rest of the body. Like you look at the Hot Wheels one, I'll put up on screen. And then you look at the Spin Master one, and you can just tell the level of detail on the truck is just phenomenal. Absolutely. The first, for 2021, Superstore exclusive truck has been shown off. If you remember the 2020 stunt truck, I'll put a picture up of it on screen. It was, for those who don't know, and for those who are just listening to the podcast, it was like a kind of like a metal looking rough kind of weird SUV thing. It's really hard to explain, but it looked epic. So it was mainly just a steel and kind of black design. It looked really epic. And they made a Spin Master version of it last year. Now they've actually made it an inverse exclusive. So where it was steel and silver, it's now black. Where it was black, it's now silver or steel, whatever you want to call it. You know, at first I wasn't too hyped about it, but now looking at it, I actually really like it. It looks pretty damn good. I must say, it's just the level of detail in the body itself, to see it get reused at least. Really, it's beautiful. I love it. But the thing that I want to talk about the most is, Ryan was talking about this last episode, and I'm so annoyed that he's not here today, but he's a busy man. I'm not going to take anything away from him. But the Gears and Galaxies trucks have been revealed. They've been shown off. They've been posted all over Instagram because Ryan got his hands on some OCD, and they look absolutely fantastic. The level of detail, I say this about all Spin Master trucks, but seriously, the level of detail on these Gears and Galaxies trucks are just phenomenal. I can't believe how much little, like, small bits of detail that you wouldn't even notice on any other truck is on these trucks. I mean, I am absolutely amazed by the sheer detail in the trucks, in the even the tires. The tires are detailed, the trucks are detailed. Again, on screen, I'll show it. It is just fantastic. Love these trucks. I'm very excited. The only one that was a bit of a letdown was the Son of a Digger one, but everything else is absolutely splendid. Make sure to check them out, and when they eventually make their ways into store shelves, I guarantee they'll be flying off the shelves, because these things are just beautiful. And kind of literally, because the Gears trucks, like astronaut theme, some of them are, so... Fly. I'm sorry. That was really bad. Well, Steel Titans 2 has been officially announced by Monster Jam Games. This is just epic. And there's been lots of really, really cool things that I want to talk about. They've pretty much given away the list of trucks. Now, I believe there are some hidden trucks. So keep that with a pinch of grain of salt. But that didn't make sense. But oh well. But the rest of the trucks in that were shown off are just impeccable. I love the list of trucks. Now, the list that I'm about to read mainly only consists of the extra trucks. So, to my knowledge, all of the trucks that were previously, well, the trucks that were in the main game of Steel Titans 1 will be present in Steel Titans 2. That's like Gravedigger, Max D, Monster Mart, etc., etc., etc. I have a feeling they'll be in the game at launch. I don't know about trucks like Max D Black or Max D Fire or any of the DLC trucks, with the exception of Dragonoid. I know Dragonoid's going to be in the main game, as you'll see it's listed below. But the rest of the trucks, I don't know about Max D Black or Gold Max D or any of the gold trucks or anything like that. But anyway, let's take a look at the list of trucks that were said that will be in the, that are the extra trucks. So here we go. Avenger, Backwards Bob, Bakugan Dragonoid, Crustacean, Gas Monkey Garage, Higher Education, Ice Cream Man, Jurassic Attack, the Monster Jam Stunt Truck, Monster Mutt Poodle, Monster Mutt Husky, Monster Mutt Junkyard Dog, Octonator, Sparkle Smash, and Stone Crusher. Now, before we move on to the next bit, I want to talk about a couple of things. This is a great list of trucks, in addition to the other ones that will be present in the game. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. We finally get it. Excuse me. We're finally getting independence in Steel Titans. That was one of the biggest things that fans wanted. They wanted independence in the game. Now we have independence. We also have a lot of throwback trucks. We have Backwards Bob. We have Junkyard Dog. We have lots of others. Jurassic Attack even. The older version. But the thing that I want to talk about the most is a few other trucks. First off, Gas Monkey Garage. By far the most interesting, in my opinion, as this truck has never made a video game appearance. Of course, it was introduced in 2016. Monster Jam Crush It did not have it as a playable truck at all. Obviously, Battlegrounds wasn't out at the time of this game. But nonetheless, it's a great list. I'm just happy to see Gas Monkey. There's also a lot of Spin Master trucks. The Poodle, the Husky, the Octonator. Octonator is going to be the best. Sparkle Smash, that's pretty neat. I mean, we've never gotten a unicorn truck. Now we get to drive it. So if you have the toy, epic. You have it in the game, even better. You also have, there's just so many trucks. In addition to this, I imagine there's going to be some unlockable trucks, or I should say secret trucks, because I guarantee that all of these are gonna be unlockable. But yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about is some trucks that I wasn't expecting. Like, it's a crustacean. That's the one that I want to talk about. That's not in Monster Jam. It doesn't compete in Monster Jam. Yet it's licensed. I think it has the toy license for Spin Master, because Spin Master still makes independent trucks that don't necessarily compete in Monster Jam, like Cyclops and I can't think of any other examples. Technically bad news. There's a few of them, basically. But I'm glad to see Crustacean in there. It's never been in a Monster Jam video game, and now it is. Same goes with Ice Cream Man, and there's a few others. Stone Crusher is one I'm really excited for. But yes, that's basically the list of... Oh, sorry, one more thing. The stunt truck. I'm really interested because no one has even talked about this. Like, Gas Monkey's been seen off, but no one's even talked about the Monster Jam stunt truck. I mean, this is going to be epic. This truck is beautiful, and then to see it in the game, it's going to be really epic. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the stunt truck in Steel Titans. What about you guys? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Moving on though, here's some extra things that were listed on the Monster Jam Games website, which I want to talk about. There were also things that we didn't know previously. So they have 5 brand new worlds. They've revealed 3. Yeah, 3. Mount Crushmore, which is the training facility, which is also where the area is that takes place on the front cover. There's this dog-themed world. You saw it in the trailer. You also saw it in some of the screenshots. There's like this... I don't know what to call it. It's like a beach sort of kind of environment, but it's got like dog houses and dog collars everywhere. It's really strange. I'm interested. Just really strange. And then there's a spooky graveyard for obviously trucks like Zombie and Gravedigger. This looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, they did a fantastic job. No one's really talked about these worlds yet, which I find very strange, but they look absolutely beautiful. The level of detail is insane, and I'm glad we get this detail. Now, keyword is, I said 5 brand new worlds. Well, there's not, I didn't list 5, I only listed 3. So there's a potential 2 more. If they're going off of themes of the trucks, I imagine there's going to be some technological theme or something themed around Max D, which would be epic. Because I would like to see like a dystopian kind of, you know, like feel of Max D, like you're in like a what's it called, you're in like a containment facility, and it's like I don't know, a giant facility, and it's like a giant Max D guy or something. I don't know. We haven't seen much of this, so it's pure speculation. So there's going to be 5 brand new worlds, and I'm excited to see what those things are. 12 stadium competitions. That is insane. 12 stadium competitions. I think they're really trying to make it so that it's not just the same thing. For those who played the original game, and I kind of feel like it too now that I think about it. It was very basic in terms of what you could do. There was racing, there was two-wheel skills, and there was freestyle. In terms of stadium-wise. There was outdoor stuff, but stadium-wise, there was only like, what, 3 things. There was time destruction, which was really nice. I imagine those 4 modes are going to carry over. Well, obviously, at least the first 3, the racing, skills, and freestyle, they're gonna have to carry over. Time destruction, not sure, but I imagine it will. Which still leaves 10 or 11 more. Oh, actually, I can't count. Sorry. That leaves like 8 or 9 more stadium competitions. What are those? I don't know. I'm interested to find out what they are. They're gonna bring some sort of creativity into it. Hopefully they're kind of like the modes that were in like Path of Destruction and Urban Assault, or something really creative. I'm looking forward to this. This is one of the things that I'm about to mention that everyone's raving about: online multiplayer. This is gonna be insane. Now, one of the biggest things about Steel Titans was that there was no online multiplayer. Of course, this is a modern gen video game. Online multiplayer is expected for most games of this kind of feature. Thankfully, they've implemented this, so now you can play online with your friends. I think it was a room of 6 or something that I looked at. I'll put it up on screen, but I'm really, really excited to see what, what they have to store. They said you can do lots of stadium competitions. Hopefully you're able to explore the free world, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, now we still have more to talk about in terms of the Steel Titans thing, so I'm gonna keep going. Improved physics is one of the biggest things that everyone has been talking about. Steel Titans was a great game, but people weren't too fond of it because of the physics. The physics threw people off. Now, the physics weren't bad, like Monster Jam Crush It bad. They just were a bit strange. At times, they felt very realistic, but other times, they would do weird things, like you couldn't do a slap wheelie. Now, I'm not gonna say much because we've only seen, well, first off, the physics on the outdoor world never really bothered me because you could switch from like different presets, and there was one preset that didn't handle like ass, like went like trying to drive around the open world map. It was really fluent. It was really nice. It felt good. I felt like a car trying to drive around. I mean, yeah, you couldn't do like stoppies and stuff, but you could just switch the preset. I think that's fine. I don't think they're talking about that. What I think they are talking about, however, is the stadium competitions, racing in particular, freestyle definitely in particular, and I guess a bit of skills. Again, I'm not going to comment on this considering that we haven't seen much of the stuff. We haven't even seen much of the stadium thing at all. They showed most of it was purely the outdoor setting. So you can't really get a good grip of how it's going to feel. But in terms of how it looked from the 5 or so seconds of footage, I think it looked like a bit of an improvement. But I'm not going to say much because, again, it was so tiny that it could have just... Look, it's hard to say anything, so I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm going to go by their word and say that these physics have been improved upon, and hopefully they are. If not, well then, oh well. If it is, well then, that's great. But, again, I'm not going to comment on it too much because it's not really much to say. You can pre-order digitally or physically, but if you pre-order digitally, you receive a limited edition Inverse Higher Education, which I think is really cool, that the pre-order truck isn't just any other truck, it's Higher Education. That's pretty epic. It's going to be available on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One on March 2nd. I have pre-ordered my copy. I cannot wait. It actually comes around at the time of my birthday, so I am looking forward to playing that all birthday weekend. That is, or even beforehand, actually. I am super excited to get my hands on the Steel Titans 2 game. Moving on to the monster truck industry, there's been quite a bit of things, mainly Monster Jam related, that is worthy of talking about. So let's begin. Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville. That's right. 3 cities have shows. So Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville. So I'm going to go through the schedule of each of them and then talk about them at the end. So Orlando is going to be from Saturday, February 27th to Sunday, February 28th. On day 1, the gates open at 10:30 a.m. and the start time is 12 p.m. On the second Orlando show on Saturday, the gates open at 5:30 p.m. and the start time is 7 p.m. On Sunday, February 28th, there will be a pit party from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. is when the gates open, and the start time is 3 p.m. For Jacksonville, there's only 2 shows running on March 6th, which is the Saturday, and March 7th, which is Sunday. There will be a pit party on the Saturday show at 3:30 p.m. The gates open at 5:30 p.m. and the start time is 7 p.m. On the Sunday, there will be no pit party. The gates will open at 12 p.m. and the start time will be 1 p.m. Moving on to Tampa. It actually is going to have a show on Friday. So there's going to be a show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday, March 12th, which is a day. Actually, it's 2 days after my birthday. So epic. Anyway. There will be no pit party on the Friday show. The gates open at 6 p.m. and the start time is 7 p.m. On the Saturday show, March 13th, there will be a pit party from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is when the gates open and the start time is 7 p.m. And on Sunday, there will be no pit party once again. The gates open at 12 p.m. and the start time is 1 p.m. So, really looking forward to seeing what goes on at these shows. I also do want to mention that these shows are for the 2021 Monster Jam Championship Series. So, the lineups will be the same. Yeah, pretty epic. Now, there are 2 more things I want to talk about, and actually another thing. So, Dennis Anderson and Scott Douglas will be officially entered into the Hall of Fame, which will take place on Orlando on the 7 p.m. show on February 27th after halftime. For those who remember last year, they announced the Hall of Fame, and with the Hall of Fame, there were 2 inductees, being Dennis and Scott Douglas. Now, if there were going to be more inductees, they weren't mentioned. It was just verbally, it was kind of up in the air, but due to the unfortunate coronavirus and COVID-19, that technically did not go through. Now it is officially taking place, and they are officially being entered into the Hall of Fame. This is excuse me, this is absolutely incredible. This is I won't say almost. This is heartwarming to hear. 2 of my biggest idols being Scott Douglas, the voice of Monster Jam, the man who made Monster Jam so enjoyable for me, and Dennis Anderson, the icon, the man behind Gravedigger, probably my second favorite truck, and literally one of the greatest people in sports, in motorsports, and huge icon, huge role model for me, as well as Scott. To see both of them getting entered into the Hall of Fame is absolutely incredible. These guys push the boundaries of the industry, and it's great to see that they are getting inducted in. And it's also great to see that Monster Jam is doing their own Hall of Fame. I want to talk about this because Scott actually talked about this on his podcast, Conversation with Scott Douglas. Dennis is being invited into both the Monster Jam Hall of Fame and is in the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame, but those are different. Those are different entities. One is about monster trucks itself, the business of monster trucks, and the retro era, the era of monster trucks that people grew up with in the 80s and 90s, the thing that formed the industry that we are watching and living through now. That's what that Hall of Fame recognizes. Monster Jam's Hall of Fame recognizes people that contributed to Monster Jam and the growing of Monster Jam and to where it's at. And to not invite these two and enter them in is just ridiculous. And I could not be happier that Dennis is in both. It goes to show that Dennis didn't just make an impact on Monster Jam. He made an impact on the Monster Truck history. And I know everybody knows that, but I'm saying that I don't think it's a bad thing. In fact, I feel like more of it's an honor to be invited to two separate Hall of Fames. That is just crazy. I am looking forward to that. Again, that'll be on the February 27th show after halftime in Orlando. So make sure you are there to witness history. And finally, the upcoming Houston show, Corey Rummel has stated that he will be debuting a glow-in-the-dark scheme for Rage. Not much can be said here. The Flames have this new glow-in-the-dark paint job, which is epic. And I imagine the design itself probably isn't much different. The Flames are just coated in a glow-in-the-dark material or something like that. Really looking forward to it. Now, another thing, this technically isn't news, but I feel like it's worth talking about. I believe there is going to be a big surprise coming up this week before Houston with the lineup. Now, I do not know, this is currently a rumor, and I don't know much about this, but there is a possibility of a truck, I don't think a driver change, but a truck change. A truck is going to get switched out for something else. I don't know what it is. I have no idea of what it could be. All I can say is that it's epic. I've heard that it's epic. Nonetheless, I'm looking forward to it, and I cannot wait to see what it is. You'll obviously hear about it on my Instagram when it is official, or if it's even a thing. Again, this is just a rumor. I really don't know. I'm just repeating what I have heard. And this is, at this point, a rumor. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hopefully it does. Because if it does, according to my source, it's going to be exciting. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Remember, if you want to follow my social media, it's at Monster Jam Historian on Instagram and Monster Jam Historian on YouTube. You can also follow the official weekly Monster Truck Podcast Instagram page at the weekly... I almost forgot. Hold on. It's at the Weekly MT Podcast. There we go. At the Weekly MT Podcast on Instagram. And if you want to check out the video version, check out the YouTube, which is my YouTube, so Monster Jam Historian. And if you want to check out the audio versions, you can listen to it on Anchor, Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and more. And also, as I shout out every time, make sure to check out the Weekly Monster Truck Podcast Facebook page. I'll leave a link in the description and in the comments. Make sure to check that out because I'll be posting updates about Monster Truck stuff on my page. And you'll also be able to check out even more crazy things about the podcast and upcoming guests. Because I do plan on getting guests at some point. And man, oh man, it's going to be epic. So make sure you're there. Make sure you're tuning in. Before I close off today's episode, I want to thank every single one of my subscribers and my listeners and all of them, as I do every episode, for coming out and tuning in and listening to all of these episodes. It's really fun. I'm getting back into the groove. I'm going to be doing more podcasts. 2021 is going to be epic. Make sure to stay connected because you don't want to miss a single bit of action that's coming up in the Monster Truck world. This year is shaping up to be an amazing year for the Monster Truck industry. Let's hope and pray that nothing stands in the way of what is going to be the most epic and one of the craziest years for Monster Truck action in history. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Have a fantastic week. Goodbye, guys.